So yeah, are you guys enjoying? I don't think so. Okay, who is enjoying here? Look, he is not enjoying. Cool. So yeah, this is Flutter Forward Extended, Bangalore, and today we are going to see records and pattern. This is uh, very new in Dart, but these kind of things are already in other languages. And yeah, so we'll see more on that. My name is Vivek Yadav. I am mobile team lead at ZestMoney. I am Google developer expert for Flutter and Dart. Apart from that, I am community leader at Flutter Mumbai, Flutter India. And for rest information, you can see at the bottom. Okay. So we all know what is Flutter, right? So this slide is very redundant for all of you guys, right? Yeah. So let me just tell you. So Flutter is an open source toolkit, or you can say framework, to build beautiful applications on any platform. And these are some features that we get with Flutter: that beautiful, fast, productive, portable, and open. Okay. So these were all the old things, right? Let's talk about new thing. The new thing in Dart is Dart 3. Okay. Till now you are using Dart 2. Okay, everyone knows that. Okay, what is Dart? Dart is a language, and Flutter is a framework, or you can say toolkit built over Dart language. Okay, we have Dart 2 as a stable language, and they are building Dart 3, which might come around June or July in stable. Right now, it is available as Dart 3 Alpha if you want to test it out. Okay, and in Dart 3 we got very few features. Okay, there was a language feature, then an update on sound safety, and one more platform added in Dart portability. Let's look at them. The main language feature was records and pattern that we are going to see, but remember this is in alpha stage, so it is recommended that you do not use records and patterns in your production apps. Okay, and there might be some changes in whatever I am going to show you. Okay, and sound null safety plus faster compilation. Okay, so if you have a null variable, what you do? You write few extra steps to make sure that your code works right? You write, if null this variable is not equals to null, do this. If it is null, then do that, right? So in Dart 3, that particular part will be removed. Okay, so now that Dart know that your variable is not null, okay, or it is not going to be null, and it will always have a type. Okay, then while compiling, it will remove a lot of codes. So and for a comparison, I can say Dart 1, okay, which didn't supported null, it was generating around thousands of line of code. Okay, I'm talking about compiler code. Okay, so it was generating thousands of lines of code, and now it will generate only 3 or 4 lines. So that's difference we are going to see. That's why faster compilation and risk. So I'm not sure if you guys know about risk. So this is a kind of architecture that Dart will support. So if you are writing your Dart application or Flutter application for Android or iOS, it might run on RISC-V as well, 5 as well. Okay. Yep. Okay. So this was all about what we got in Dart. Okay. Now let's talk about records and patterns. Okay. Records are very simple, but I don't know if it is useful for you guys or not. Okay. So we'll check it out. So these are some information on records. The first thing, it is first class. Okay. First class means you can store a record as a variable, or you can store something in record variable. Okay, then you can return a record from function. Okay, abhi sab bounce ja raha hai na, what is record? Now we'll check that. Yeah, then you can use a generic type in record as well. The next thing, record is a subtype of record. Okay, so whatever record you will build, it will be subtype of record, and it extends object. Everyone know object class? That is the first class in any language. Okay, that it means the record is very near to the origin. Cool. Then value semantics, you know hash code and other functions that comes along with the variable, so that is also available. Then optimizable, so compiler can optimize this in multiple way. Okay, now look at this code. Simple Dart code, right? You have a list of object as a function, as a user info. You will pass your JSON and it will give you map, right? But here is an issue, okay? As soon as you go down here, okay, to get the information from the list, okay, that you pass from the function user info, okay, you lost your type, right? Because it was type of an object. So basically you don't know if info0 is a string or integer or xyz, okay? Because you are doing your own coding, that's why you have written use this as a string, right? But as soon as your API developer will change your API, it will break, right? And then PM will call you, kya ho gaya? Yeah, so let's see what else we can do for that. What we can do is, we can create a class user info where we can keep our type, that this will be type of string, that will be type of integer, but you have to create a class, right? So now you have to understand what record will give you, something like this. Okay, can you see 2 parameter as a return type? Yeah. The first line I said here was, it depends on your use case, right? Any one of you want to communicate with me about if you guys have any use case like this, where you want to return multiple types or multiple parameters? Anyone? Yeah?
Yeah, but not in this language. Swift already have this, so I've used this in this.
So what is the use case?
Like whenever we want to return multiple values from a single map, for example, if I'm requesting a free API request, I want the error as well as the data from the same.
Yeah, right. So that's what we were doing in class, right? So for Dart language, Flutter guys, we are using this, but Swift was one step ahead. Now we are coming near to Swift. Okay. So as the use case is that, you can have multiple return types. A simple example is when you do an API call, you might return a response and maybe a status code or few more information, okay, that you do not want to store in a class. Basically, if you create a class, you are adding some memory bits in your memory that is allocated to you, right? So yeah, you can use records at that point and look at this thing only, okay? So this is what record is. In very small nutshell, this is what record is, okay? But below here, can you see that while importing it, I am using $1, $2. Is it good? No, right? Again, we are back to the starting point where we don't know what we are doing here, right? So here we got another help, okay? So this was what we have created, user info. We got an info here, okay? And $1, $2 to get the data, okay? But with the patterns, okay? Till now we were talking about records. Now we are talking about patterns. So this is a pattern in which your variable is initialized, okay? And what we can do now, we can do this. Oh wait, I don't think so it is there. Yeah, so whatever data that you will pass from user info, okay, take an example of this. So here you are passing name and age, okay? You will pass that information in this return type, okay, which is record, and then using pattern, you can give it a name, okay? Basically name and age. So instead of doing this $1, $2, you will do info.name and info.age. Yeah. This is records and pattern. Baaki sab faltu kariye. Okay. This whatever we are going to see is just add on this knowledge which I have shared with you. Okay. And it might go some in a confusing way as well. Okay. So make sure that you focus here. Yeah. So if you don't want to use a variable from return type, you can mark it as underscore. Okay. One more addition, you can use same underscore at multiple places. So it is allowed. It is not like pala underscore, then 2 underscore, then 3 underscore. Okay. Yeah. And the use case is something like that as well, where you already have variables assigned. Okay. What you can do, you can create a pattern like this. Okay. A simple pattern, and your function, whenever it returns something, it will be populated in these variables. Okay. Cool. So this is something that they want to bring. Okay. Yeah. In next slide, not this. So, but it is still in experimental stage. They are yet to decide if they are able to bring the next few things in the Dart language 3 or not. Okay. The first thing is here. Now we know that we can use if condition, right, to show a UI element in our what to say that widget tree. Okay. So this is a conditional thing. Okay. And if you want to use same thing, or if you want to do same thing on list style, you will end up doing this. Okay. You will have a variable, then you will check, and then you will have ternary operator, and in the end it is null if you don't want to show, right? But yeah, what if I can say that you can do this, where let's say that you wanted these two things already here, okay, enabled as well, but a subtitle on tap can come conditionally, okay, and you can add a if statement there, okay, if something, then show this, and else show this, okay. This triple dot here, okay, they are actually adding your these objects into the list style. Okay, again this is something experimental that they are doing experiment on this, and it is not sure that they will bring this or not. Okay, but yeah, they are bringing records and pattern for sure. So okay, are we good till now? ज़्यादा तो नहीं हो गया? Okay, good. So now look at this. You have a JSON, right, which has a type user, and in user you have an array with Lily and 13. Okay, and how to retrieve data? You can retrieve like this. JSON of 0 is my name, JSON of 1 is my age. Okay. Now let's bring, okay, I don't think so we have discussed on that. Okay, so this is the record, this is how we write a record. Okay, the open bracket, okay, then here two things, either you can assign a value, okay, look at this, it will take type automatically. Okay, you have an option to tell type as well. Okay, one thing to note here is the first two, they are positional, okay, and next two are named value. Okay, so the first two variables, okay, if you are going to use it without pattern, then it will be like $1, $2, and next two will be X or Y. Okay, yeah. So let's get back to here. Okay, now this is what you had, and this is pattern. Okay, so this is very interesting use case of pattern. Look at this. So now that I said, okay, I know my variable is going to look like this, I can create a pattern against this particular variable like this, okay, which says that I will have a map, okay, which will have a key, okay, and inside the key I might have or I will have a variable, okay, inside an array which will hold value of name and age, right? So look at this, this is the variable that you created, okay, then you assign that variable, okay, you assign that variable to this pattern, and then what will happen, okay, not like this, yeah, so cool. So if you have this, then your code will look like something like this, okay. You will first check if my JSON is of type map, right, then it contains a key user or not, okay, and this key is list or not. If it is list, it has some size or not, okay, length s2. Then you will also check if my first one is string, second is in, like a lot of things, okay, and this can be removed with the pattern. Now you will have just simple thing, okay, because you already created a pattern, you can have switch statement or if statement, okay, where you can say, okay, does this look like this? If yes, then give me values. I took a lot of time to understand this thing. Yeah. You guys got only 1 minute till now. Yeah, so this might be a lot, but yeah. So this is the use case of patterns. Okay. So what pattern will do? It will match, okay, along with something else, okay, and you will get an option. If this matches with this, okay, then give me values. So it will remove lot of if and else matching, a lot of things. So these particular things will do for you. Okay, there are a lot of pattern, variable pattern, map pattern, list pattern, and lot more. I am going to share you resources where you can read about it. Okay. Now look at this code. This is very simple switch statement, right? Where we have slash or some other method in the end default. Okay. With pattern you can convert it like this as well. Okay. So you have a case slash. Okay. You can add some more information. When this, then do this. Okay. Now look at this or. Right. So I think they are called as arithmetic pattern something. Okay. So basically what I am trying to say that now using pattern you can reduce your code like this, okay, because switch statements already know what these guys are going to do, okay. Let me just tell you what this code is doing. So it is saying if my char code is slash or star or plus or minus, do this. Earlier we were using or now we are doing this, okay, like this. If it is an empty case, it will go directly here. Yeah. So it will be replaced by this. Okay. ये भी bouncer गया. So remember, you are not going to use this in production code. Okay. So don't take a stress. I am going to share you document and resources where you have to refer. Okay. There is a video of 20 minutes where I don't think so. I mean, I don't think so that you will understand in first go. You have to, watch it maybe 5 or 6 times. Yeah, the same code which we saw here, okay, can be written like this as well. Okay, you can assign that to some value. Okay, and if you write all these things in one line, it will look like this. Okay, slash. If your case is slash, okay, then and next character code is also slash. It means it is comment, right? So you can skip it. So one more thing, this is code for compilers. Yeah, yeah. And if you have slash star plus minus, do some operations. Okay. If it is a digit, okay, which is less than greater than what is this? Greater than equals to or less than equals to of some number, right? 0 to 9. Then do some number wala operation. Okay. So yeah. That was all about records and patterns. ठीक है, ऊपर से क्या? I have time, right? Yeah, cool. So till now, do you guys have any question? सब समझ गया. Look, that's why I'm best speaker. Cool. So let's talk about use cases. The first use cases, as he said, there might be situations where you have to return multiple values. You can use records there. Okay. What about pattern? So pattern we saw, if something is coming from an unknown source, okay, there you can use pattern to match. If that particular output is something like this, if yes, then I will go ahead. Okay. It will help you in multiple ways. Okay. For example, let's say that you are getting multiple responses from an API call. The first response would be the success. Second one would be error. Third one would be success with some other element. Okay. So you can have a switch statement with all these patterns, and yeah. So patterns can match them and you got your value. Okay. So these are some use cases. Yeah, if you have any use cases that you want to tell, you can stand up and tell. Okay, everyone is looking at other guys. Cool. So this is very small slide which says what we got in Flutter forward. Okay. So there was some updates on graphics, for example, impeller, shaders, you already saw, right? Yeah, then 3D support, if you don't know, go and watch video of Flutter forward, you will be amazed with the 3D support wala part. Okay, seamless integration of web and mobile. Here we have element embedding, you already saw, right? Then there is JNI and FFI update as well. So basically, what you can do, you can generate your codes for JNI and FFI. Okay, if you're thinking what is JNI and FFI, so they are a way to interact directly with C code or Rust or any other language. Okay, you don't have to create multiple layers into it. With this, you can directly connect with those low-level languages. Okay. A very good use case of JNI is, let's say that you have a C library which is very efficient in doing, let's say, image processing, right? So with JNI and FFI, you can connect with them and do direct integration instead of going through platform channel, then Android, and then blah blah blah. Cool. Okay. Yeah. So with the gen, that means your code will be generated. Okay. Cool. This one, yeah. So for early and new architectures, if you guys know WebAssembly, okay, that is very new to market. So Flutter Web supports that, as well as Flutter now supports RxV. Yeah. And for developers, we got Soundle Safety, we saw, right? Yeah. Then Google News Toolkit. So if you're building a news app, you can use this. And Wondrous app. If you guys don't know about this, go and check it out. It is one of the best application that you will see. And Wondrous app uses Impeller, so you can see if how good is Impeller. Okay, and that is it. And if you want to connect with me, this is a Twitter and YouTube, and all the resources that you saw here are available if you scan this code. Thank you.